Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, how are you today? I hope you always stay healthy and stay safe. In this video, I will explain about chemical energetics. What is chemical energetics? Do you know it is? So, chemical energetics is energy changes during chemical reaction. Obviously, a lot of chemical reaction given out energy as heat. Getting heat by burning a fuel is a simple example, but you will probably have come across a lot of others in the lab. Other reaction needs continuous supply of heat to make them work. Splitting calcium carbonate into calcium oxide and carbon dioxide is a simple example of this. Any chemical reaction will involve breaking some bonds and making new ones. Energy is needed to be break bond and is given out when the new bonds are formed. It is very unlikely that these two processes will involve exactly the same amount of energy, and so some energy will either be absorbed or released during the reaction. That's the key, yeah? Absorb and release. Next, we have thermochemical. What is thermochemical? Thermochemical is process using heat and chemical reaction to release hydrogen. Example is releasing hydrogen for material like fossil and biomass and other materials that can release hydrogen. Next, we have enthalpy and delta enthalpy, and the symbol is H and delta H. So this R is a property of a thermodynamic system, defined as the sum of the system internal energy and the product of its pressure and volume. And delta enthalpy is heat changes that occur in chemical reaction. First, we have exothermic reaction. Exothermic reaction is a reaction that releases heat from the system into the environment. If we look at this word is exo means external. The example of this campfire is releasing heat from the system to the external or environment. The delta enthalpy in exothermic reaction is negative. Exothermic reaction is have some of this graph. If you look at the graph, energy of product it's less than energy of the reactant. Energy of the reactant is have a symbol of HR. Energy of product is HP. If HP is less than HR, the result will be less than 0. That's why the exothermic reaction have symbol is negative. Okay, example exothermic reaction in daily life is gas exchange in respiration system. It produces or given out carbon dioxide or CO2, which is heat into the environment. If you inhale through your nose and there is a gas exchange occur in your lung, and then you given out the heat and CO2, which is you given out the heat from your system into the environment. Other example in physical changes is freezing, because freezing is need to be construct bond to make liquid into solid, and also condensation because bond needs to be construct for make gas into liquid. How to detect exothermic reaction? It's put thermometer in hydrochloric acid solution and pour the sodium hydroxide. The temperature read in the thermometer will be decreased, so it is the exothermic reaction. The characteristic is temperature decrease. Here the equation of this phenomenon. It produces sodium chloride and H2O or water. Next, we have endothermic reaction. Endothermic reaction is reaction that requires or absorbs heat energy from the environment. If we look at this word, endo means internal, like this butter. The butter is absorb heat from the pan and it will melting. The symbol of delta enthalpy in endothermic reaction is positive. This is the graph of endothermic reaction. If we look at this graph, the energy of product is greater than energy of the reactant. Energy of product have a symbol as HP and energy of the reaction is HR. Because of energy of product is greater than HR, the result will be more than zero, or we can say it's positive. Example of endothermic reaction in daily life, we can see the photosynthesis phenomenon because it's like the opposite of the respiration. They produce the oxygen and it absorbs the heat from the sun and carbon dioxide. When during the photosynthesis, the plant is absorb heat from the sun and also they absorb the CO2. It's inversely like the respiration system and they produce the oxygen. Other example of endothermic reaction in physical changes is melting because bond needs to be break to change solid into liquid and also boiling because it changes liquid into gas. How to detect endothermic reaction? Put thermometer in some solution if the temperature is increased. It will be endothermic reaction because the solution absorbs heat from the environment. So the thermometer read will be increased in endothermic reaction. Another example of chemical energetics in the industrial field, first we have substance from oil. Substance from oil is the process known as refining. Is carried out at an oil refinery. Refining involves separating crude oil into various batches or fraction. Chemists use a technique called fractional distillation to separate the different fractions. Each fraction is obtained by collecting hydrocarbon molecules which have a boiling point in a given range of temperature. So they separate the oil from the boiling point of each substance. The key is they boiling. Boiling is example of endothermic reaction. So substance from oil is get from endothermic reaction. Next we have fossil fuels. Coal was produced by action of pressure and heat on dead wood from ancient forests, which once grew in the swampland in many parts of the world under the prevailing weather condition of that time. When that tree fell into the swamp, they were buried by mud. This prevented aerobic decay, which take place in the presence of oxygen. The key is they take place in the presence of oxygen. Because they presence of oxygen, it is example of exothermic, same as respiration system. Next we have hydrogen as fuel. The combustion of hydrogen is highly exothermic, so it's obviously stated that it is example of exothermic. It is only used as a rocket fuel in experimental vehicle and fuel cells. Many advantages for hydrogen, such as very energy rich, no pollutant are formed, and nitrogen oxide not formed, which is can make acid rain, but it has also disadvantages such as expensive to produce and difficult to store. Thank you very much for your attention. Hope you can learn something from this video. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye bye.